the entrepreneurial game is build it to where you don't have to work. You get to choose when you want to work and how hard, and like,
don't be at work thinking about your vacation. And then when vacation comes, you're thinking about work. Intelligence without ambition is a bird without wings. You have to be humble enough to learn from anybody.
yeah.
Your investment with me should be a fraction of what you're gonna make from what you learned from me. You're not making any fucking excuses though. You're getting it done.
That's right.
Because that's what a lot of people want to do. They want everything to be perfect before they execute. Fucking execute, dude.
All right, welcome to this edition of the Balanced CEO podcast. I'm with my buddy, Mark. Mark is a tattoo artist. He's a social media guru. He's got over 100,000 followers. So to me, that's a guru. Mark, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Been tattooing almost 12 years now in May.
Okay.
Started at 22 years old. No mentors, just rough, rugged, figured it out as I went. Opened my first studio only like 2.5 years in. Opened my next shop a couple years after that. And then, yeah, it was just off to the races.
So you said you opened your first shop at 22.
No,
Or
so
no,
I
you started at 22. You opened it 2
Yeah.
years later.
Yeah, yep.
So what did you always have that entrepreneurial mindset, like from a
Always.
young age? Like, were you always trying to?
Yeah. My
Figure
dad was
ways.
my dad was a hustler, so I just was a hustler. And like they weren't much for giving us money, you know. So if
Yeah.
I wanted something, I had to find a way to earn money to get it. So I tinted windows on my car, for example, because I couldn't afford to get it tinted. So I bought the $6 roll of tint and figured it out. And then I was like, oh, I could do this for people. And then I did some buddies and stuff. So that's just an example. You know what I mean? Just always trying to find a way to make a buck.
So I love that because I'm trying to get that with my son. You know, he's in a pretty like affluent life, right? So I'm like, man, I don't want to kill this kid with like opportunity, but at the same time, I want him to learn how to find it.
Yeah.
So you feel like that like restriction of money was like all right, I got to figure this shit out because like
Yeah.
it ain't coming without.
Yeah. And that also, and it was also my dad always telling the war stories. You know how it is. Like in my day, I just had to start working at 7 years old because
Yeah.
he grew up single mother in the ghetto, you know, in New York. So it was always the war stories of like how he got it on his own, which respect to him, he did. But you hear those stories enough and you want to be like your dad. I'm like, well, I want to do that then. I want to go work. So, I mean, I had my first job at like 13 years old.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was off to the races young.
Fuck yeah. I love that because, yeah, we're right in that with him. He's 7. So we're like, hey, where can you find value? Like, go around. What do you see you can do? Mm-hmm. Right. And then tell us what you want to do and we'll negotiate a rate for it.
Yeah.
So nothing is like a dead set number, right? Like if I need something now and he can help, it's going to be more money because, right, I need the help. So like trying to show him how to provide value, but also how to like see where there's a need. And like if you see some desperation, you can usually negotiate a little higher. So
Yeah. It's probably a little hard at 7. He's 7 now, right?
yeah, I mean, I don't expect him to understand it completely, but like I want him to start like seeing the patterns of like, okay, I offered to do this and they were like, yeah, whatever, but I offered to do this and they seemed kind of like anxious about it and I made some good money. So it's like,
Yeah. Get him to turn the wheels a little bit.
yeah, I want to just start acknowledging the patterns of when like you can see someone really need something versus like, yeah, I'll do it, but it's whatever, you know, like.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to get in their ear early.
Yeah. Cause like, I did not want him to grow up like a silver spoon kid. Like I want him to like, I don't ever want him to feel like he had to get it out the mud, but like, I definitely want him to feel like,
You have to earn.
yeah,
something.
there was value. I know how to provide value. Like I can get through this world without any extra help.
Yeah, for sure. I'd be the same way.
Yeah. I mean, obviously like 22, you're doing your thing. 2 years later, you start a shop. And that's why I asked, like, was that entrepreneurial thing always there? Because as a kid, my parents were 9-to-5ers. My mom was a flight attendant. My dad was worked at PG or Pac Bell, AT&T. Probably too young to know Pac Bell, but AT&T bought Pac Bell. Pac Bell was the telephone company back in the day, and he like they're both 9-to-5ers, right? So, but like I always wanted to like sell Cokes and candy bars. I wanted to do shit. Like I wanted to figure out ways to make money. When I was 8, I did like one of those door-to-door things and I, for the school, right? Fundraisers. And like I'd sold so much. My parents looked at all the shit in the box and they're like, we'll never do this again. right? Rather than being like, fuck yeah, next year do more. They were like, no, we're done. Cause like you were too much. Like this is,
Yeah.
so I always had the entrepreneur mindset, but I butted heads with people that were like, nah, go to college and get a 9 to 5.
Yeah. Luckily, I didn't have that. It was like
Yeah.
definitely very supportive of whatever weird shit I got into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Other than selling weed, I didn't really like
I
that.
don't think my parents definitely were not a fan of the
Yeah.
idea of me doing that either.
No.
So talk to me more about like tattoo game, right? 22 in the tattoo game, open your own shop. What does that look like for someone that's younger, maybe looking to start their own business? Like what does it look like at 24 years old?
It sounds cliche, but it was just the relentless work ethic.
Right.
I think that was it, because I would go from tattooing for 8 hours and then go directly to my new studio and go do renovations myself.
Yep.
Because I couldn't afford to hire construction teams and stuff. I mean, I'm putting down floors with my dad and my brother-in-law. I did all the paint myself. All of the, just everything from top to bottom, I did myself. Anything I could do myself, I did do myself. So just relentless work ethic. And then even once you own it, it's like, are you going to work 3 days a week or are you going to work 6 or 7? Like, dude, I came close to working a month straight before. Like, that was like my record. I'm like, what do I need a day off for? Like, I'm making cash hand over fist. I'm going to work my face off. So I would say my hardest working years were probably those first couple years that I opened up that studio.
I mean, that's kind of the game, right? Like everybody thinks the entrepreneurial mindset is you work to the bone forever. Mm-hmm. But in reality, the game of the entrepreneurial game is build it to where you don't have to work. You get to choose when you want to work and how hard, and like fluctuate season. You might have a season where you're like, I don't really got shit going on and fucking grow this thing.
Yeah.
And you might have a season where you're like, I got a lot of really cool opportunities to go out and do shit and live life and experience life. Like I'm out.
100%. Yeah. And I'm still even working on that now, but I agree. It's like a gradual thing. Like we've talked before about the next things I want to get into, because it's like, you're really just buying your time back.
Yep.
I'm not trying to go back to do what I did then. The whole point of doing that was to eventually get away from that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That sucked. I remember getting to the point where I was like, I don't even care about the money. It's just sitting in my bank account, like, and I'm miserable.
Yeah, you can't spend it. You have no time to spend it.
Yeah, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, cool. Have money, but I hate my life. I don't have time for the gym. I don't have time for a social life. It's just, I don't know. There was I remember a good significant time where I was like, this kind of sucks, you know? So the point is to keep hustling to get away from that. I'm now looking into businesses where I can more so just use my brain and kind of manage and delegate and put systems together so that I can go on vacation for 2 weeks and just say, hey, how's everything going? Blah, blah, blah. We good? Okay, don't call me unless something's on fire.
Yep.
You know, because now I'm just on vacation and only on vacation. Because I even remember going on vacations and like thinking about work. And I'm like, that's just not the way to live. Like, I don't want to have to do that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever be able to completely turn off. Like everybody's like, I would love to take, a month off like you did. I was like, I was gone, but I wasn't off.
Yeah. See, but I heard this great quote. I think it's Bob Proctor, because I watch all these self-help YouTubes. I just get into all that. I'm really nerdy with that stuff. But he said something. He was like, don't be at work thinking about your vacation, and then when vacation comes, you're thinking about work. Like, just try to be where you are. So I'm the same way, exactly. Like, I'll be on vacation. I'm like, man, when I get back to work on Monday, I got to do this, this, and that. But it's like, maybe just try to be where you're at.
Yeah.
You know? So I am working on that, because there's pros and cons. Like, some people, like, it's great to be ambitious and want to work hard, but when does it end? You know?
When you're 6 feet under. Yeah. Honestly, I don't think there's a way to fully turn off. Like I've told Lex that I think eventually I'm going to have to retire for like 6 months and like just sell it all to finally take a real vacation where I have nothing going. And then I'll know I'm ready to go back when like I can't stop thinking about, this place I just stayed at, there's all these missing opportunities they should be doing. And like all of a sudden I'm back in that cycle of like, I could start a business and fix this. And then I'll know it's time to.
Yeah. I don't know if I could ever retire, to be honest. Like we were just talking about, I'm 2 weeks off of work right now. I cannot wait to tattoo you tomorrow. Like, I can't wait. I'm losing my mind. It's like 2 weeks for me I've never really taken 2 week vacation. You know what I mean? But it's like between holidays and travel and back and forth, it ended up being like almost 2 weeks, but I'm losing I'm like,
The holidays aren't a vacation, man.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true, too.
This is like, I'm working right now and I feel like I'm on vacation
Yeah.
from the fucking holidays.
yeah, no, literally. Yeah, work for me tomorrow. Work is going to be vacation from
Yeah.
the holidays.
But like I told her, I was like, we work so hard. I'm 42 years old. I've been at this for a long time. Like I think I've owned the gym 10 years. I started working corporate jobs at 18, 19 years old, 20 years old. So like it's been 22 years straight.
Yeah,
So it's like eventually take that 6 months and just do everything. And like I'll know when it's time to go back. Maybe not even be 6 months, might be a month.
yeah.
And I'll be like, I am ready.
Yeah. Plus, you can kind of recalibrate because it is
Yeah.
nice to go back with that new energy
Right.
and the new outlook. You know,
I think personally, the only way though I can fully recharge is to not have any responsibilities. Like own no businesses, own
like nothing can be in the back of your mind.
yeah, nothing can be back there just ping ponging
Yeah.
around.
Like what's somebody not doing right?
Yeah, or like what's our opportunity? What did I see over here that I could use? You know what I mean? Like it's just dead space
Yeah.
to refill with fun shit.
Yeah. That sounds ideal. Yeah, I mean, you got the new house and everything too. That'd be sick to just be able to like unplug and just enjoy the fruits of your labor for a little bit.
Yeah, and that's the other part. You move. You just moved. You move and you're like, oh, I'm on the water. Oh, I can't wait to sit here and just chill. And it's like, and then you turn around, the boxes haven't been unpacked. You're like, in about 6 months, I'll finally be able to like,
Have a second.
yeah. So that's where we're at right now, where it's like, yeah, I enjoyed some shit. I also enjoyed taking the golf cart out and then forgetting to close the gate and then having to go on a nighttime fucking finders keepers with my fucking dogs. So, it's like there's also the growing pains,
Yeah.
which is real fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great having an all black dog in the middle of pitch black wilderness.
Yeah. They might be sleeping on side for the night.
Somehow my wife found him in another neighborhood. Like they fucking
It's so stressful.
yeah.
I've had it happen a few times.
Yeah, and it's crazy because they're in a brand new area, so I knew they were gonna be gone. Like, it's all brand new smells. Like they're just gonna be.
Oh yeah.
So tell me more about 2224. That was in Delaware, right?
Yep.
Okay, so Delaware built a shop. Mm-hmm. You said you owned, and then so did you move to another shop, or you went back to working for someone else?
So the first one was out of necessity. I was just working with assholes and just people I didn't really didn't respect me, and I was like, I got to get out of here.
So the epitome of, I would say at least 50% of people that own a business
Yeah.
was out of spite
Yeah.
of never wanting to work for someone like that again.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, exactly. So it was like, I can't be around this. I'm not going to, like, I didn't get into tattooing to feel like every other job I've had where I'd go to work and hate some of the people I work with.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
100%.
okay. I didn't like, it almost forced me to be an entrepreneur early. I don't think I would have started a studio as quick as I did. Because some people might say that's kind of early, and I would agree. Like if you're in a good spot with a good mentor and you go to make the quick buck, I actually think that's a bad. I've said that before on my Instagram. Because I see a lot of young artists, they go do what I did. Because it was a private studio. It wasn't really a shop. I mean, it was 2,000 square foot space. You know, it was
You
like,
still have to deal with other motherfuckers that are in there.
well, it was me by myself. So that was sick too, though. So it was like a private studio, but it was like a full size space just for me.
Yeah.
But it was still sick because I was still managing myself. I was.
You're
still,
saying the new spot. I thought you meant it was like you were talking about the old spot. I was like,
Oh yeah, the old spot. Yeah. But yeah, so I did that for a little bit, and then one of my buddies that helped me get into tattooing, Dan Price, he had been tattooing a few years longer than me. Friend in Miami actually. I'd flown down to see him, saw how he was living and stuff, and then we created a friendship. And then when he wanted to come back to Delaware, he was like, "Yo, do you want to partner up and build a shop?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, let's do it," because I was ready to move on from the first space I had, because it was like in this small, quaint town that was like off the beaten path. Most people didn't know about, which made it cool. I loved it.
Yeah.
And it's like a destination. Like people are going to come to me. Like, so it didn't matter. I don't need to be in a shopping center. You know what I mean? So anyway, we go to a more popular area, bigger studio, hire people, make the state-of-the-art shop, best one in the tri-state area, put a fish tank in the wall. Just made it very like, when you come in, you're like, okay, this is what I'm paying for. Like, I'm getting a good tattoo, and this experience is amazing.
Yeah.
So did that. That was 2018, I think, something like that. So a couple years before fucking COVID. But it was an amazing few years, you know. Took off, and I mean, that's probably some of the best my business ever was. And then COVID happened, And then life went into a tailspin. I went on a road. I started traveling and tattooing NBA players. That's how that happened, actually. So I made a good thing out of COVID. I started tattooing NBA guys, and then it just led to tattooing all types of athletes. And then a few years later, I was in Miami.
So tell me more about, because I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, how the fuck did that happen? Like, COVID hits, you got your, Bravo TV reality show, fucking sounds like tattoo shop that everybody sees on TV, right? Everything shuts down. How do you go from Mark the tattoo artist owner of a shop to NBA players? Like, did they already follow you, or was this like a growth thing through social media and like you just put it out there?
Social media. So the biggest thing too is I always tell people, like, I worked my business, which I consider social media. I worked my business as much as I worked my tattooing. So I was always, how can I grow on Instagram, which is really hard. Like people need to know that shit. It really is hard, and it's only more and more competitive. But I never made an excuse. I was always hammering it. And then my first NBA client was PJ Washington, and I had reached out to him. So that's where I was a little aggressive. I reached out to him. He's like, bro, this is perfect, because they were all for COVID too. Like, the whole world didn't know what was happening. And it kind of started from, I was like, same thing we were just talking about a little bit ago. I sat on my hands for 2 weeks. Like, some people saw COVID and were like, all right, I'm done. Like, I was like, dude, I can't do this. I'm going to go fucking crazy. We blacked out the windows at the front of the shop and just started tattooing out of there. We said, fuck the system, dude. We're tattooers. We would tell our clients, hey, if you're comfortable, like, you can come in, only you know what I mean? We'll mask up and shit. I mean, we didn't really wear a mask. But so we started tattooing right away, but it was still kind of slow, you know what I mean? So I was like, fuck it, dude, I'm going to hit the road. So I DM'd him, and then he said, hell yeah, dude, let's do it. So I'm like, let me talk to every player on the Charlotte Hornets. That's why too, because I could drive to North Carolina. I had my Tahoe, and there were no plane flights even at that time. Like, everything was shut down. So I was like, okay, well, I'm like, you're in driving distance, bro. Like, I can get to you. So then I get two more players. So out of one trip of my first trip of tattooing NBA players, two. Him and Miles Bridges. But what do you think happened the next time?
Oh, they told
I tattooed
people,
another one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's where the hustling really comes into play. Because guess what? I was around other artists that fucking played video games for a few months. You know, they took the back seat. They're like, oh, this is an excuse to be lazy.
Yep.
You know, and maybe that's my workaholic ethic or whatever. But I didn't just open up a state of the art studio. I'm at the pinnacle. My career, shit's going amazing. I would book out. I would post about bookings and be booked for 6 months. Like, it was like if you didn't text me within the first 24 hours, you would not get an appointment. And then you had to wait 6 more months. You know what I mean? So I'm smashing shit, and then COVID shuts everything down. You think I'm just going to stop there and be like, oh, okay, I'll just stop, and I'll just wait until Big Daddy tells me I'm allowed to work again? You know?
I mean, no one would have faulted you for it, but absolutely no. Knowing you, the answer is absolutely not.
Yeah. So it's crazy how that turned into. So then I linked up with the page is called Inked NBA. He was just starting his social media, and he was just a fan of the NBA and their tattoos. He's a fan of tattoos. So he put those two together and was like, I'm just going to post NBA players and their tattoos, right? So he reaches out to me. We start working together. I'm posting him insider stuff every time I'm doing these travel sessions. So it's like I'm scratching his back, he's scratching mine. Lo and behold, we become friends and stuff. And then what do you think happens after that? His page starts blowing up. Now I'm tattooing. I'm talking about UFC. I've been in UFC, MLB, NBA, like every professional sport except for soccer. I think that's the only one I haven't tapped into yet. But it's like, it just blew up.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that took, like, I already had credibility and my Instagram was doing good, but then it just went, like, that's when shit really started taking off. And it was like, wow. So
I think that was right about the time I started following you.
Yeah.
I think that, because I remember I saw the NBA players and I was like, oh, that's crazy. He's doing NBA players. Mm-hmm. But your style is what originally attracted me. I think it was on the, what do they call it? The, search page or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like whatever
the
For You page on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't know why I ended up there. I think I was going to go search something else. And like your tattoo's right at the top. I was like, oh, what is that? Mm-hmm. That looks like exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah. And that goes back to hustling, making sure I'm posting. So if I wasn't posting, you wouldn't have seen me.
No.
You know what I mean? And then that goes to, for the sales part, that's planting the seed. So now you followed me for a little while. I gained your trust. You saw my work over X amount of years. And then when you were ready, you pulled the trigger.
Yep.
You know, so you didn't buy as soon as you started following me. You
No.
watched for a little bit, you know, and I built that trust by showing up, you know, and hopefully staying consistent enough where you see that as a consumer and you're like, okay, I trust this guy. I would go get tattooed by him.
Yeah, I don't think people realize the lead time,
Yep.
right? Like I have ads in the magazine, right? In a neighborhood I just left, but like a neighborhood in the town where my gyms are at. And I had one of my operations managers go, do you think we should cut this? Like we haven't gotten anybody from it. And I'm like, yeah, 6 months ago we started doing these ads. Like this is a long game. Like they're going to see it 100 times. Like I'm not paying for today because I know all it takes is 1 or 2 people from that neighborhood with their avatar. They'll pay for the whole thing and then some when they sign up. So just keep it running.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah. Raphael talks about that a lot because he's super into the marketing. You know, obviously he's great at it as well. But me and him will talk about the same thing, just building the trust. Like you can't expect somebody to see you one time and then they're just going to buy that time. I think it's like, there's like a statistic that goes into it about how many hours or what do they have to consume of like seeing your stuff before they're comfortable to buy.
I've literally been running all my content for 3 years. I have not asked for one thing. I have not I've not put an offer out. I haven't done anything because I know that is so important that whatever you do the first time has to make sense. And also trust. Like I'm fine with doing this for my enjoyment.
Yeah.
Eventually there'll be an offer for the right person and the right thing. But like right now I'm just growing the followers and building that trust.
100%.
So you do all these tests. So how did you end up down here? That's a big one. I think people would love to know. Like you jump, you fly. I don't know how many fucking states down here.
Yeah. So I think it still ties into the 2020 thing and tattooing the NBA players. So now I'm doing that a lot and I'm traveling a lot. I'm bringing my gear everywhere. I'm bringing an assistant sometimes, most of the time. And it's just becoming a fucking hassle. And I'm like, you get to know these players. A lot of them spend their off season in Miami. They'll train down here. I mean, people love Florida.
Why wouldn't they?
Why wouldn't they? Exactly. So I'm like, let me put myself there. And I was also going through the biggest breakup of my adult life too. So it was like a couple things came together all at once. So I was like, all right, I've already wanted to live somewhere new. I never did it. When the world shut down, I got scared that I never got the chance to do that. I was like, wait, is this opportunity being ripped from me? Like, so it was like all those things combined. I'm like, let's just go do it, dude. So if I think of something, it's not too long before I just pull the trigger. Because if I sit on it too long, your brain will come up with reasons why not to.
Yeah.
And it's funny, as soon as I like sign a lease, some of that starts to kick in. The doubt and the fear. And I'm like, I know what those voices are because when I built my very first studio at 24, 25, same thing. I'm up at 5 a.m. because I'm like nervous and I know how much work I have to do and like those doubts are kicking in. So I was familiar with that fear before, but anybody that's thinking about doing something like that will come with it, you know? But dude, I moved to a new state by myself. But what's crazy is I took no steps backwards financially or in my business at all. I actually raised my prices. Like that's some ballsy shit. But again, if I didn't have like the brand and the trust that I had, I don't think that would be possible. So yeah, that's what brought me to Miami the first time.
So you come down here on your own. Did you like link up with a shop? Was it Vivo?
No,
or
so I just rented out a baller ass penthouse and tattooed out of there. I was like, let me get some shit that I would usually never spend this much money on, you know? But it gives the client a one-on-one experience. Like, dude, people flew in and they were like in awe. I mean, you're getting tattooed just staring at the bay in Miami. You know, the Heat Arena is right there. And it's just that one-on-one experience. So people loved it. So
damn, I waited too long to pull the trigger.
yeah,
Fuck.
right. Yeah, that was sick. It was a lot of fun too. Plus, it was a lot of like, I was telling Gracie this actually today, and I was like, you don't realize I'm the type of person, I don't fear being on my own. It can actually be toxic in a way. Like I enjoy being on my own. So when I moved there, it's not like I had a ton of friends. I did make friends pretty quickly through like entrepreneur conferences and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I did party for my first few months down there. But then the latter portion, I was just locked in, dude. It was just gym twice a day. meditating, journaling, working, like, and just getting my mind right. Cause so much chaos had happened. Like I said, 2020 breakup, just so much was going on. It was like a good reset for me.
I feel that. So how did you end up at Vivo? Like so I know we're kind of chronologically going through your life here.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. So after Miami, I had did it. I really felt like I got my center back.
Yeah.
But I still owned that shop in Delaware.
Yeah.
And it felt wrong with me. Like I knew it was going to be like a reset year. It felt wrong with me to be away from my business. Grace is my apprentice still there. You know what I mean? I had her for like 6 months and then I bounced. You know, so she's still an apprentice there. I still have my business partner there. And I just felt like the business wasn't the same without me there. I mean, I'm the other half of it. So I go back to Delaware. I'm there for maybe a year and a half. Oh, and then me and Rafael are building our friendship in this time. He had met me in Miami. He had like 10,000 followers on Instagram, still very new to tattooing, and just messaged me and was like, hey, bro, I'd love to come like shadow you for a day. And I've never been the dickhead that like turned down a young artist. You know what I mean? But he was doing really well on TikTok and he was like, see, he had something to offer too. He wasn't just asking for something.
Yeah,
he's like, hey man,
I'll show you what I figured out. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm gonna show you this. So anyway, that's my first time meeting him. And then when I moved home, we developed our friendship more and more. It got to the point where I talked to this dude more than I talked to anybody else. He'll tell you, like we would call each other every day. So then I'm mentoring him now. He gets his first private studio the way I did. And then once he was ready to graduate into his shop, he's calling me again. He's like, yo, do you think I should do this shop thing? Da, da, da. And I told him the pros and cons of it. And I was like, bro, managing tattooers and other people and stuff, like it's not as great as people may think it is. Yeah. And then the profit upside really isn't there. Like there's not a ton of money. You can make some money, don't get me wrong, but you're not going to get rich off of hiring other people. Tattooers don't stay long, you know. People always want to find the greener pasture or they go start their own thing respectfully. But anyway, he's like, bro, please come down here. Please come out. I'm like, dude, I can't do it. I can't do it. And then eventually he's like, bro, I'll partner with you on Vivo. Please come down here. I want you to have a reason to like stay and like want to be here. So I pondered, and I saw what they were doing with social media. I felt myself getting older and maybe not keeping up with shit. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is like the kind of like spark I need. And I was starting to miss Florida a lot. I got home and realized Delaware was still Delaware. Seasonal depression is real and Florida is sick. And also, I guess this is a key point when I think about the business side of it. I felt the economy start to shift a bit. And I'm like, there's just more money in Florida. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
So that was a huge baller decision on my part, which I can tell you now a year later was a power move because I'm all about numbers and paying attention. I write down everything. I keep track of everything. Like I log everything. For that entire year and some change that I was home, one client flew to me. When I lived in Miami, clients flew in every week. I'm talking Oregon, Indiana, like Oregon, bro. That's across the map as far as you can go, corner to corner. You know what I'm saying? Client flew in from Oregon for his first piece. So you can't say that being in Miami isn't a big part of that. You've done it. You turn it into a little bit of a vacation.
Yep.
I get a tattoo, but I'm also in Florida.
Every time?
Win-win. So in Delaware, nobody's flying in. Now I moved to Florida again, same thing. I got clients like you, bro, that are flying in every week. You know, so you can't ignore the fact that that's a part of it. You know, Delaware is like, do I really want a tattoo from this guy? Because people will do it, but it's a little less enticing, I think. And I don't blame them.
100%. Because I remember when I was first like, all right, that's who I'm going to go to. You were in Delaware. And I was like, all right, going to Delaware.
Yeah.
We'll figure out how the fuck to fly there. I don't even know. Like, they have like
Philly airport.
Flies there. Like, and then he was like, I'm moving down to Fort Lauderdale. And I turned to my wife and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to Florida.
Yep.
Like that, it was like an excitement level increase immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't blame you.
You know, so it's like, yeah, no, I get a house and like, I'll talk to Jules. We'll always figure it out based on wherever I'm at. Cause usually I'm out at some other business conference or I'm speaking and we'll figure out the dates. And like this one, it's before, but usually it's after the business conference. And then I'll fly in, I'll be here for the weekend. And then Monday, Tuesday, get tattooed and then fly home Wednesday.
Yeah. And even that, you have conferences here.
Yeah.
Not any conferences in Delaware.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So again, it turns into a win-win. So overall, So yeah, opportunity with Raf. I believe in him. I told him that from the beginning. I believe in the Vivo page, and look what we did with it. It blew up. I learned a lot more about social media. I'm on TikTok now. I had no TikTok before. I just broke 80-some thousand followers. You know, nothing amazing, but better than the presence I had before. But just keeping up with the youngsters. You know, I'm never. You have to be humble enough to learn from anybody.
Yeah.
You know. If you're doing well, dude, I'm not going to act like I'm Mr. Know-It-All. What can I learn? You know, and I think that's a big thing for any success for anybody, just having the humility to learn from anybody.
I learn from you guys all the time, especially the social media and like the engagement and like the way things happen, like at Vivo and Birdcage. Like I'm always kind of just observing Geo and like everything and just how all of that is like works and just like going back and being like, all right, guys, at the gyms, like this is stuff that works. Like, this is what people want to see.
Hell yeah.
So you get into Vivo, obviously prices, you know, you start working that price because I know Raf is really big on like, you know, be at the top of the market. Like don't be be the big fish, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like that helped? Like that mentality helped in any way in terms of like managing the type of client you wanted to work with? Like are you at a point now where you're getting a little more selective?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I taught Raf more of that.
Okay.
So I've been at a pretty high rate. Well, higher of like tattooing. You know, I would say that a lot of my colleagues are at the same rate.
Yeah.
But that's if you're at that like top 5%.
Yeah.
Of tattooing. I've been at that for better half of a decade now, and. Like I told you, once I got so busy in Delaware, I've always been selective. I turn down more people than I accept. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I have to be happy about what I'm doing. It goes back to even when I was working my face off and I told you I was getting miserable. That was part of it. I'm like doing any and every tattoo that'll come through the door. You know, respectfully so, as you should when you're starting out. But once you build a business where I was getting 400-500 inquiries in 24 hours, I'm going to go through all of them and pick out my favorite things. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to take anybody because everybody's money is the same. I want to be happy at work.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, right? Because it's like, and this kind of goes to the social media thing too. I'm going to pivot this real quick because like, you know, Raf always talks about it. So it sounds like he taught everyone about the pricing thing where it's actually that you taught him. Mm-hmm. Right. And that's, I think, an important distinction people got to realize is like, you might be the one with all the brand, like with all the knowledge, but like if you aren't out there telling everyone, like it's going to look like someone else has it.
Yeah.
And I know you have the knowledge, obviously. I didn't know where the pricing instinct came from. Mm-hmm. I know most of the tattoo stuff obviously came from you been tattooing like double as long.
Yeah. Yeah. My business partner, so somebody tattooing even longer than me.
Yeah.
Dan Price he taught me. So I'm in Little Delaware.
Yeah.
And nobody's ever taught me how to price. And it's crazy how even something like that in business is important to learn. Like through social media, I think a lot of people are able to like kind of gauge the pricing now a bit. But even 5-6 years ago, nobody did that. There wasn't even reels. So nobody was making clickbaity reels about pricing.
Yeah.
Nobody talked about it. It was a very like personal thing. The only way you would know somebody's pricing is if you got tattooed by them. So he came back from Miami, and that's a way different market, you know what I mean? Again. So when he comes back to Delaware, and I'm seeing him work the same days as me, put the same effort as me, but like charging double, I'm like, oh wow, I'm not charging enough.
Yep.
So I learned from him. And then trickle down effect, then Raf is able to learn from me because I remember when Raf was at 1,000 a day, 1,200 a day, 1,500 a day. You know, he's like, yo, do you think I can get to 1,500? I'm like, well, what are your inquiries looking like? You know, like this and that. And so, yeah, it is something like, it's like everything is knowledge that has to get passed down because if not, you might be jammed up. I've mentored other artists before and helped them with their pricing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's crazy because I know you used to run that school, right? Or the
online, like online mentorship, virtual mentorship. Yeah, so same thing like that. Like a lot of them would ask me that, like where are we at with pricing, and then I just break down their business. I need to know more about it. Like,
and I think that's super important is acknowledging like, are you getting so many leads that you can increase your prices without like suffocating your lead. Like your lead funnel. Yeah.
Or let's say this, a younger artist that's still very much learning and they want to upcharge now, but now they're only tattooing 2 days a week. brother, you need to worry about getting better at tattooing. And the only way you're going to get better at tattooing is if you tattoo 5-6 days a week. Now you're trying to chart. What you're doing is you're flatlining your skill. You're not getting much better, or at least you're not getting better fast enough. The best way to make money in tattooing is to get good. My social media can be all fancy as it wants and all these followers, but if you saw my shit and you didn't like the tattoos I did, you're not going to come get tattooed. You know what I mean?
You're absolutely right.
So that's a big thing with these young guys. I feel like they get the wrong impression, man. They see what I'm doing or Raf's doing. They want to charge high, and it's like, bro, what happens when you have one client a week? Would you rather one client a week at $1,500 a day or 6 clients a week at $800 a day? We can all do the math pretty quickly there.
Yeah.
The guy doing $800 a day is smoking you.
Yeah.
So
And they're getting incrementally better. Right?
And they're getting better. Boom, boom. More money, and I'm getting better. So that's why a lot of them need mentors, man. They try to go off on their own too quick or watch the social media guy. And it's a lot of like, I don't know. And entitlement. Like, I don't know where these kids are tattooing for 2 years and charging $1,500. Like, fuck you, dude. You're just not there.
I think, yeah, and I think a lot of it too is like that's all industries. Like I deal with in the gym industry. Like I have people that are like there's people that will come in and they'll personal train or they'll coach for you, and then they'll be like, oh, this is so easy. I'm gonna open my own place because like I could do it way better. And it's like, cool, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Invite all those costs. Deal with all the complaints, like all of it. Like, welcome to real life. Like, put your big boy pants on.
I used to beg artists that worked for me. I'm like, bro, please go open your own place. Because I mean that not in a spiteful way. I want you to learn. Like, I want you to, because then maybe you'll have a little more respect for what I'm doing over here.
Yep.
Because you think it's so easy, or we're getting rich off of you. Okay. Actually, you got a really good setup. Because I'm incurring all the stress, and you're incurring a small bill each month.
Yeah, and it's kind of mind blowing too, because like, you know, you tell them get a mentor. Like, you need a mentor, go learn from a mentor, like to get better. And they're like, no, I don't need that. Like, that's all witchcraft. And it's like, no, man. Like, that's why you wonder why you constantly are struggling with the same shit every fucking day.
What's the opportunity cost on that ego and saying I don't need a mentor? What if I could teach you, like, for your business? What if I could teach you to skip all the mistakes I made?
Yep.
How much more money is that going to make you in the long run? Your investment with me should be a fraction of what you're going to make from what you learned from me.
Yep. That's the thing too, man. Like I tell people all the time, I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in mistakes and everything over the first, I don't know how many years before I joined the mentorship I'm in now. Like insane amounts of money.
Yep.
And people it's like, I could have fucking skipped it all.
Yep. People should be happy that this is available.
Yeah.
You know, because when I did it, I'm like, you're not even paying enough for the knowledge I'm giving you. You know, this ain't even enough. I need 10 grand for you to have a month of my time. Like, that's how I feel, because I've paid 10 grand just to have one light bulb go off. I paid 10 grand for a social media company, because we've talked about that social media doing well. Dude, I had a company that was teaching me, and that was helping me understand leads, understand, you know, cold DMs and stuff like that. I paid $10,000 for one campaign management thing, you know, but it made me hundreds of thousands. So if I'm going to give you that information, I'm over here telling myself, like, what is it worth for me to sell to you?
Yep.
You know, but it's also hard for people to see that. And I have the stubbornness where I'm not going to give it to you for free. You know, like, there's just no way. I'd rather just keep the information and you try to figure it out.
I mean, yeah, at some point you got to realize, like, if you don't want to learn, like if you don't have that hunger, I don't want to teach you. Like, I'm not dragging people. Mm-hmm. I want people that I can like give some information to and watch them run. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want any of that fucking other bullshit.
Yep. 100%.
So you're doing all this. You said you're going to the gym twice a day. Like, how are you balancing the gym with tattooing as much as you are? And obviously, I mean, I know you're not the biggest social person, but having a life, I mean.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was it too. Like, when I lived in Miami, like I told you, like, I didn't have much of a life.
Yeah. So
that makes it easy to be honed in on the gym. The gym was my life, and I just love it. When you're alone like that, you're with yourself all day. It's nice to get out of the house. I would walk to the gym, listen to my podcasts, and then it was just enjoyment. It was a way for me to get out of the house, feel like I did something good with my day, get in better shape, because also downfall of 2020 was them closing the fucking gyms, and that shit almost ruined my life. You know,
Yeah,
like that's
you
my
and me
lifeline.
both, yeah.
Yeah, that's my lifeline. So without that, I got in one of the worst shape because I've been in shape all of my 20s. I'd always fallen off here and there like everybody does. You have your ruts of a couple months, but that I was bad. I got pictures where it was like some people gain weight. I just go back to shrinking and being very skinny. I was very skinny growing up. So I just became a rail again. I mean, no muscle on me. I was probably down to like 180 pounds. I'm 220 now. You know what I mean? So that's a big difference, you know? So it was like also the climb back, you know? So it was so easy to go to the gym because I was so motivated.
That makes sense. At the same time, though, like you got a lot going on. And you're living in the gym. Like, do you feel like there's a value? Like, what's the value you get from the gym? Like, above and beyond, like you put the weight on. Like, do you feel like there's mental?
The mental that was the number one. Like I was saying, like I would have slipped mentally if I didn't have an anchor like the gym in Miami. So I was happy that I even had the prior experience because that's the thing I like to tell a lot of people too. Like you need your first 6 months or something like of true dedication. I'm talking about 5 days a week at the gym. You need your first 6 months of that. And I feel like you build the foundation for like, you're either going to love it or you don't, you know? So I've learned to love it. And it's like, I call it like my center, you know? If the world is collapsing around me, as long as I'm able to go to the gym, I can figure it all out again. You know, I can get my mind right. But I think I'm a head case if I don't have the gym.
Yeah, I think a lot of people miss that point as an entrepreneur. They're like, oh, business. And yes, absolutely. But if you don't have that outlet, that physical and mental outlet, like it can get real dark real quick.
Real quick.
So I know recently Vivo is no more, or maybe it's Miami. It's hard to keep up with exactly what it is now. What made you decide to stay here and like just be a tattoo artist again? Because are you co-own or anything with
Nope.
Birdcage? Like you're just an artist.
Nope. I'm just an artist here because it just feels nice to take a step back. I think it's been an insane 5 years since COVID. Well, now 6. And I just need to fucking...
Yeah,
like life is good.
Do.
My finances are good. I've owned shops for 10 years. I've done all that. It's like you guys run the lead. I'm just here. I come in, I make my tattoos, I leave. I mentor a little bit if they need my help, you know what I mean? But other than that, I'm just focused on myself and my brand, and just feels good like that for right now. It's a big pause moment for me as I reflect. I love where I live, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's just nice. It's a nice little breather.
So, and I do love, like, I'll be there in the shop getting tattooed, and like they're all like the artists are always coming up and asking, hey, what do you think of this? What needle or gauge should I use for this? And it's like, and you're always willing to help. And I think that's something they don't see on camera.
Yeah.
Often.
Yeah.
Is like you do that all the time.
Every day for the past forever of my career, since my second shop.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
But you're open with the knowledge. Like I think
am.
that's like that deserves its own credit. Is like
Yeah.
you're actively making other people better just because it's the right thing to do.
100%. And I think it's like that thing of like, this happened to me, so I never want to be that guy. Like I were around people that didn't want to do that, you know? Or because I was so ambitious, I'd reach out to other artists through Instagram and stuff like that, people I looked up to. Hey man, like I would love that. And some would say no. But then those that said yes, I was so appreciative for it that if I have any knowledge and I can help you, I'm not going to just not help you.
Well, you also don't have that closed mindset of like, oh, well, they could get better and take my clients. No. Like there's none of that fear, that bullshit, like scared mentality.
Because here, I can say it in the humble way, which is like, there's enough for everybody, which I do believe in. But 2, you can't beat me. And I think you need to have that in business.
Yeah.
You can't fucking beat me. I'd be weak to think that if I give you a couple little tips and tricks, you're going to come fucking take my food. No, that ain't gonna fucking happen,
I think it's fucking hilarious when people are like, well, if I give them like this secret sauce, and I'm like, it ain't secret sauce, man. Like, it ain't In-N-Out's fucking spread.
Yeah.
It's like, you know,
Yeah.
it's
I can give it to you and you could do nothing with it.
yeah,
You know, I hope you do, but I might give you the same information I have. I can tell you to post and do this and to put the long days in, but it's up. You got to do it. So I can tell you until I'm blue in the face.
How many times a day are you posting at this point? Like, what would you say like is a solid cadence for someone trying to build like a personal brand business, like a tattoo artist or a stylist or anybody in that
Anybody.
realm?
So I would say do as I say, not as I do. I've been on Instagram for over 10 years. I've been grinding it out. I've built that like same thing with the gym. I've built that solid foundation. So same as the gym, I might fall off a few weeks here and there, you know? So do as I say, not as I do. The biggest thing is consistency. If you can start with whatever you can do consistently for months on end. So what that means is if you know you can only post 4 times a week, but you can do it every single week for 6 months, start with that and then scale from there. The ideal thing would be post at least once a day. And then if you can get to twice, 3 times a day, you know, and that's a lot. As somebody that's done content, I've never done 3 times a day. I cannot keep up with it. A TikTok I have because I've hired somebody and we show like lifestyle stuff.
Yeah.
But as for tattoo stuff, Instagram, it's like how much can I make out of how many pieces of content can I make out of one tattoo?
Yeah, like I have a team, and that's the
Yeah.
only reason I'm able to post 2 or 3 times a day across all platforms.
There you go.
Otherwise,
You couldn't do it by yourself. Yeah,
right?
there's
but
no way
like,
you
I
could
tell
work.
people all the time, like you should. In an optimal world, like you should be posting 3 times a day. Like,
Yes.
even if you're filming it all the week before and then you're sitting there on a Sunday batching out
Yep.
and scheduling it all on a Sunday, like in a perfect world, you could find the time to post 3 times a day.
100%. So that's why I even get on myself. I have no excuses. I should and can do better, and I've proven it before. But it's like it's almost the same as a gym again, where I know that if I'm consistent for 3 months, I can kind of bounce right back.
Yeah.
You know, which isn't the way to be. I don't think that you should do that. Be better than me. You know, just stay fucking consistent, like a flat line. You shouldn't be doing too much of this. Just try to be here.
Yep. But I mean, at the same time, you've built a machine.
Exactly.
Right. Your social media, like I'll see you post shit about my sleeve and it's like, I'll look like 2 hours later and it's got 2,000 likes.
Yeah.
It's like, you know,
Yeah.
the fucking machine is running. The
Exactly.
algo knows when you post, it's going to fucking push it on out.
Yeah.
gonna get engaged.
Because the thing is, social media treats you like an employee, as they should. If you show up to work consistently, they'll treat you good. If you show up twice a month, they're going to be like, dude, you're fucking lazy. We're not giving your content to anybody. And I've seen that before. You know, I've taken social media breaks because it was just fucking me up. I'm like, I'm going to delete everything on my phone for a month. That's like suicide.
Yeah.
You just can't do it because it's a mess to rebuild that trust.
Yeah, I told my wife, I told Lex, I was like, I'm going to take a month off, but like the team's still going to post.
There you go.
I'm
That's
just going
the
to
only
have
way-
someone like Hawkeye and responding.
That's the
But,
only
like,
way
I'm
I'd
out.
ever do it again. The only way I'd ever do it again is I'm going to be like, I'm off of it, but you have all the posts you need from me. And if you need anything from me, you let me know, but I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I'm not going on there and looking at anything.
Yeah.
I'm not engaging with anyone.
Yeah. That's the only way I'd ever do it again.
Yeah,
Because
like-
you cannot just take, because the thing is, dude, I've seen amazing tattoo artists fucking social media is just flatline. And then they never come back because here's what happens too. They're inconsistent for a while. And then they try to come back and their engagement is so low, they just get sad or mad and they go, fuck it. And they don't
Yeah, the
post
ego
at all.
gets crushed.
Their
It's
ego
like,
gets
what, I'm not
crushed.
getting 100,000 views?
Yep.
Fuck that.
See, but now that I know the system, I know the game they're playing. I know, now I put it back on me. I'm like, okay, I'm averaging 1,000 likes a post where I used to get 5, 6, 7. Why is that? I've been inconsistent. I need to work to regain my trust. And it's not my tattoo sucks. I know my tattoo looked good. I saw it. It looks fucking nice. But I'm not in the same position in the algorithm now, and I just got to work back in there. Instead of just being like, oh, fuck, man, they kicked me out of the club. I'm done. Fuck Instagram. You know, it's so much egos involved and people's feelings and stuff. And it's like, dude, algorithm is a system in a computer. That's it. It does not give a fuck about you. It's not out to get you. If you show up, it will reward you, and that's it.
Shout out to that. I've doubled my followers in like 7 months,
I believe it.
right? Like almost tripled it now.
Yep.
And it's just consistent posting
Yep.
multiple times a day.
Yep.
Nowhere near 100,000, but we'll get there.
Exactly.
We'll get there.
But it's like it's the compound effect.
Right.
You know, all it takes is you keep doing that, and eventually you have one that pops, and then you have a whole new influx. And then now your posts are doing even more consistent, and then boom, and then it just compounds over each other. But there'll be plenty of people that could do it as long as you've done it and be like, this isn't enough, I quit.
Yep.
Whoever, Alex Hormozy says it all the time, whoever can eat shit the longest is going to win.
Yep.
You know? Whoever can just be like, fucking keep on trucking when shit's not going good is going to win.
Or in his case, scam enough people without it ruining your reputation. But that's a story for another day.
For another day.
Yeah, I'm not. You and I can talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah,
when cameras are off.
Yeah, I'd like to hear it.
Oh yeah, no, I know the original Hormozy.
Yeah.
Lots of experience with him.
Jeez.
So I love this idea of like, you know, having the right type of shop, having the right type of environment. Birdcage is a whole different animal from Vivo, right? In terms of aesthetics, in terms of like presentation, in terms of behavior, attitude, everything. The culture is all different. Do you feel like that matters a lot, or is that more based on your clientele, right? Like, for example, like I go to a shop locally in my area, right? It's very gothic, it's very dark, but it also is kind of the vibe of like the older tattooers in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's their style. But like, does that turn away people? Maybe they want to tattoo. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that has an effect on things, or at your level, like where you've got people flying in, like they're buying you and they don't really care what the shop looks like?
Yeah, your vibe attracts your tribe. I always stick to that, you know.
Yeah.
So people are going to come and they're going to buy from you as long as an environment doesn't make people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. I wouldn't like to go back somewhere multiple times if it made me uncomfortable or yeah. Like I think that's all okay. Like the gothic vibe, like whatever. We're artists at the end of the day. You know what I mean? If people like whatever, people are going to put their energy into the space. Me and my partner Dan, we made it more like the Apple store, you know? Like nice paint on the wall, stuff like that, but you got TVs, you got nice granite countertops. It's very clean. There's no bullshit. We did not a lot of paintings and flash all over the walls. It just wasn't our vibe. We were going to be the new school, high end. You know, we got phone chargers for you. We got drinks for you. We got snacks. We got a manager at the front that's going to greet you when you come in. We had heated blankets in the wintertime. You know what I'm saying?
I think like the kids call that boutique.
Yes. You know, it's like a luxury service. That was our jam, you know, but to each is their own.
Do you like, and this is probably the last question along this line, but I am curious about this. Do you feel like there's an advantage with the boutique versus like a gothic versus something else, or is that more for walk-in? Is that more of a walk-in thing?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm thinking more
I think
along
if you're
the
gonna
lines
go
of like,
if you're gonna go super gothic and where it's like almost overwhelming, your style should really match that, because then you'll bring in your tribe. But if you're doing if it doesn't match, I don't know if it's gonna work out as well.
right, because you're kind of driving in.
Yeah,
You know, you got the moms coming in trying to get their kids'
and
name
they're
in
like feeling
cursive,
weird.
and they're like,
yeah,
all right. I
yeah,
smell
like,
incense.
Yeah,
and-
like I don't feel very comfy.
Yeah.
Like if I go in somewhere and there's devil shit, I'm out. You know, maybe everybody won't feel that way, but if I see any type of devils, I'm out of there.
All right. Yeah, I've always been curious about that, because I've been to enough tattoo shops and they're all different and they all have their own vibe. But like, Birdcage is a private studio. That is something I wanted to ask. How do you decide you want to be a private studio versus someone that takes walk-ins? Like, at what point in your business, and I'm asking this for all types of like stylists and everyone who's like, man, I'm so sick and tired of Susie coming in here asking if I have availability, or like the random walk-ins. Like, I'm tired of it. I want to move private, but I don't know if that could work or how or when. Like, when do you think in an artist perspective, like a private studio is the better play? Is it like a lead thing? Like you're getting enough?
That's it. You got to have enough bookings. Like if you aren't booked enough and you rely on walk-ins, you need to be at a walk-in shop. If you're booked out for 3 months at a time, 2 months at a time, you don't need to be at a walk-in shop. And it's that simple. I've never been a walk-in shop in my entire career. Neither of my shops were, never have been. I've been booked my entire career. So I've just been blessed. And the style that I do, it requires people to come back multiple times. If I sell them a good tattoo, they'll keep coming back to me. So my books stay filled. I don't need to be in a walk-in shop, and I never really want to be part of it. Doesn't attract the right type of customer for me. I'd rather be on the high end of things. And that's really for any business, you know? I don't want to be the Dollar General. I don't want to be the one. It usually brings the wrong type of people, you know?
They have a lot more requests.
I got $150 to spend. Yeah, and then there'll be a headache, you know? So I'm making no money from you, and you're a fucking headache. It's just not my jam, you know? And listen, there was a time, you know, in the 90s, dude, walk-in shops, that was the shit, dude. That's where you can make a lot of money. If you're doing a $300 tattoo, but you're doing 10 of them a day, you're balling in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? You're fucking crushing it. So there was a time for that. We've just graduated past it with Instagram. You're going to go find your artist for the style you want, the personality you want to be around, you know? Like it's custom tailored to the individual in ways that we've never seen before.
I think, I think that's really interesting. And that's something I want to ask you is like, what would you call your style? Because people ask me all the time, what is that style? And I'm
Custom
like,
black and gray.
Custom black and gray.
Yeah, because it's not like hyper realism. Like I don't take a reference and make it exactly what I'm looking at. I always manipulate it my own way. Like I can show you a messy fucking drawing and I'm going to be like, hey, dude, you just got to trust me, you know? Or I'm going to scribble on you with markers and stuff like that. So it's just custom, large scale black and gray. Stuff like you're getting sleeves, you know?
Yeah.
Nobody comes to me for a singular tattoo. It's a sleeve, it's a back piece, it's the chest piece. It's something where it all connects and flows and is cohesive. That's what people come to me for.
That's true, because you did draw all that fucking custom tribal.
Yeah, fucking tribal. Everything that connects on your arm though is drawn.
Yeah, you know, like all this flow it's so sick, and it was just like fucking yellow marker.
Yep. But that's my touch. Like that's what people come to me for. A lot of the time when I ask people, it's the quality of the tattoo for sure, but it's always, hey, it's how you put it together, you know?
Yeah.
People don't want it to be fucking like an afterthought. I can't wait for the YouTube video to drop on the beginning of this one because I give a lot of game on that of like how I put my stuff together, and nothing is an afterthought. It's always a before thought, you know? Let me not do too much because I need this little space because that's going to be like a piece of the puzzle where everything connects.
Yeah, everything was like definitely thought out. Like Lex was like, that's everything you did for 2 days. And I'm like, yeah, but the next 2 days are going to be way longer.
We're going to hammer it.
All of a sudden, like this whole thing is going to be covered and you're going to see like long game.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, man. I mean, that's always been my thing. It's like you do large pieces, right? So was that always your thing? Yeah,
it was always what I wanted to do. I have pictures in my phone saved from years ago, like from the very beginning, and I had it saved on my story of like, oh man, can't wait until I can do this. And it's so funny because it wasn't even that good, but it was just a full sleeve. You know what I mean? But it was like, that's all I ever wanted to do because because I didn't have sleeves myself. Yeah. And I wanted sleeves. And I'm like, man, that's so cool to give that to somebody. Like I'm going to put a fucking sleeve on somebody that they're going to wear. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's a painstaking thing, but I enjoy the process. And I think that's an important thing for anyone looking for a tattoo artist is like understanding it's a long process. If you're going to do everything we've done. I mean, it's been less than a year. I think we're 10 months in and we're already, I mean, by Tuesday, we'll be halfway done with the second arm. Yeah. So it's like 10 months. It's crazy. But it's also like, I enjoy the process. I enjoy going to Birdcage. I enjoy the vibe. I enjoy everything about like what we do in the process of what we go through and the planning and like everything. And cause I don't think people realize like I give you ideas, but we spitball a lot of what we come up with like on the spot. 100%. Like in the moment at the shop before we do it. That's how I get tattooed every time when I fly to Arizona. But same to mimic everything you just said. Same thing. I enjoy the process with my artist. He's become my friend now. We bullshit, you know what I mean? We conversate outside of the shop. So it's like a very comfortable thing for me now. I know that I can go there and I can trust him to make my vision come to life. Yeah. You know, and that's I think that's worth the money to me. You know, it's worth the money and the travel to me to have that confidence of by the end of this, I'm going to be satisfied all the way around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And also having an artist that's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like that ain't going to work, or it won't fit, or that's just not something I want to do. It's really important. Because I remember texting with Jules, who does your bookings, for anybody that doesn't know who that is. When I was first texting him, I'm up in the mountains, I'm walking with my son up by our fucking cabin, and I'm like, hey, I love this werewolf thing from this movie Dog Soldier. And he's like, yeah, what else? And I'm like, all right, understood. Like,
Yeah. And it's funny how that worked out too, because you said the thing about being picky. We didn't know if we were going to be able to be on the same page.
Yeah.
And look at us now.
Yep.
You know? So it's almost like you got to get those few sessions out the way, and then you could feel it out. Like, okay, this is going to work out.
Yeah, he's like, because what else? What else do you want to do? What else do you want on your arm? Because I was like, I think I'm getting vetted right now. I was like, I think he's vetting me to see if he wants to take me. I was like, I need to be careful because I want to get fucking tattooed by him.
Yeah.
So I was like, listen, let's do the lion, like get the names and like,
We'll go from there.
yeah, I was like, but I love the animal stuff he does. I love that. I didn't know what it was called, negative.
The negative space.
Like, I love that negative space stuff that he's done. Like that was really what attracted me to your work was like, you have that stomach piece with the Grim Reaper and the negative space. And I was like, that's fucking it.
Yeah. People love that shit.
Right? Like I was like, that's what I want. I want the writing. I want my son's name. I want all that, but I want it kind of in a negative space with the animals, right? Like, because he loves animals. I love animals. And now he's like, he can't understand why I won't get animals everywhere.
He's like, do your whole body.
Yeah. Just like, what is it? A tiger or no, a cheetah and an eagle fighting on my throat
Hell yeah.
from side to side.
Love that.
And he's like, I just don't understand why you won't do that. And I'm like, no, like, no, it's not going to fit. And
They're
no,
like, dude, you can't pick all of my tattoos.
yeah, I'm not, a 7-year-old is not picking what's going on my fucking neck and throat.
He's like, yeah, get a T-Rex.
Yeah, it's insane. But like, I love the fact he's that comfortable with tattoos and like, just thinks they're totally normal,
Yeah, that's sick.
you know? Totally normal to get your throat tattooed with like animals fighting.
Yeah,
like,
he's like,
why
Dad,
not?
get both sides of your neck done.
Yeah,
please."
like Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Like, you know? But that thus is life.
Yeah.
I appreciate the conversation, man. This is awesome. I'm glad we can redo this. For those that don't know, the first one was a shit show due to outside influences neither of us could control. But I'm glad we could redo this and this fucking snazzy setup.
Hey, man, get the job done.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're not making any fucking excuses, though. You're getting it done.
That's right.
Because that's what a lot of people want to do. They want everything to be perfect before they execute. Fucking execute, dude.
I think
And
there's
you-
that fear too, right? Of like rejection.
Yeah.
Like someone like you walking in and going, this is what I really fucking came over for. I'm out.
Yeah.
Like fuck your werewolf tattoo and fuck your podcast setup. I'm out.
Yeah. We built the trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, all right, man. Well, I appreciate it. I know you got other things to do, and we got tattoos to get to tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Appreciate
So,
you, bro.
I'm excited. Appreciate your time. Is there anything you want to leave people with? Any quote or anything that like has helped you? Last thought.
Ooh. Intelligence without ambition is a bird without wings.
Intelligent. All right. That's
Let him simmer with that one.
who said that? Elon?
I don't even know. It was written on my whiteboard in my beginning years of opening that first. No, not even then. In the very beginning of me tattooing.
Some vision board shit right there.
Vision board shit. It's actually in my first notebook. What are those ones called with the black like speckles on them?
Oh, yeah. The composition books.
Composition. It's in, dude, I got it saved forever. It's like falling apart. But I had a bunch of motivational quotes, stuff, and that was my first one. Intelligence without ambition is a bird without wings.
That's some Tony Robbins
So
shit.
you can
right
be
there.
fucking smart, man, but if you ain't ambitious and you ain't out there and wanting to get after it and find a way to make it happen,
I know I've heard it before, but I love that. That's a great quote. That's
Yeah.
something everybody should know.
it's a
Because
great
like
one.
you could have the cure to cancer if you don't put the work in to like scale it and give it out. Like it's worth nothing.
Does nothing. Just sits there in your mind.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Speaking of that, as always, keep grinding, and as always, keep digging in.